In this life, if you are not enlightened, then you might as well be dead. All these lights and cameras just flashing, they just flash.
Welcome to the Prince Nana Show. Now here's your host, me, Prince Nana.
Got no time for games, it's just action. It's just action. And everything I do is with a passion.
Hi guys and girls, welcome back to my channels here on Anchor FM and YouTube. Alright, I really appreciate everybody tuning in over the last couple of weeks. Alright, before I get really deep into the episode today, I want to take a moment to once again send my heartfelt condolences to the entire Gaspard family. Alright, Shad, you will be missed. All right, your impact on the wrestling business and also in the African American community will always be felt and known. All right, and you are appreciated. All right, I want you to know that I never met you, but I just want you to know that you are appreciated. All right, and you will never be forgotten. All right, prayers to your wife. All right, to your son, your entire family, and your friends. All right, and also your good friend GTG. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, today on the show, I have a really special guest, a good friend. All right, and this friend, she has been a part of Prince Nana's career. All right, over the years on the road, I've been seeing her popping in, all right, popping out. She was mainly overseas. Then she came back to the US and she was traveling all over, modeling, doing all these great, unbelievable things. All right, and I had to have her here on the show because she is definitely someone who was a staple. All right, she was a staple in East Coast professional wrestling, and also, at a time in pro wrestling when females were beginning to really put their foot down. All right, she was one of those females putting her foot down on these females' necks, putting her foot down on some of these guys' necks. And let me tell you something, she is one hot mama, all right, and she's a good friend of mine, and she's here today to share her life story, wrestling story, her career story, everything story with Prince Nana. And I'm gonna try and get those personal digits too, right? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Prince Nana Show, my good friend, all right, April Hunter. April.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I was just telling all my followers it's been so many years since I've seen your beautiful face in person. How are you, sis?
I'm hanging in there. It's so weird to reconnect with you after all this time.
I know we can't do that again because there was a time where it was like the only female I was seeing was you, and you were getting booked everywhere. Everyone else, I didn't even know who the other girls were, even though there were girls out there working. But on the East Coast, when you're talking about someone who has been around a stable, you've got to be talking about April Hunter. It's been way too long, sister. You've been good. How's life treating you?
I have been good, and you didn't need to know about any of those other girls. I was the one that you needed to know about. this
You
is
you
it right
already
here.
That's why you are the one of the first females I had to reach out to because you left such an impact on me as a performer myself. Seeing you out there, you've been a friend of mine for almost 15 years. But the question is, how do you keep yourself so drop dead gorgeous after all this time? How do you do it?
I have thank you first off. I'm gonna say something very controversial here, and people are gonna hate me for it. But
Okay, go ahead.
I'm convinced that you can stay younger looking by doing two things. One is by working out all the time because of cell regeneration, and the second is by not having children.
Wow, you know what? That is a funny thing because somebody said, I didn't have any kids yet. All right. I would like to have
Oh,
kids. All right?
they're
But
stressful.
someone, that's what they said to me. They said, you know what, Nana, you still look like you're in your 20s, minus the gray hair. So, I say, hey, I'm just living my life. I'm enjoying it. Why would I want to bring some kids into this stressful thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's a stressful
It's
world. They
scary.
don't ask to be born, you know?
It's scary. It really is scary. But for someone like you, all right, a lot of people don't know this. All right. They don't know this. I knew this because I know everything. All right. I mean, everybody's business. I'd be trying to know everything. You know that already, right? But people don't know that you trained, all right, under Mr. Walter Killer Kowalski himself. How was that training under him? And do you have any fond memories of training under him?
Oh God, yeah. That was about the smartest decision I ever made, and it really wasn't. It really wasn't mine to make.
Right.
WWE, which was WWF at the time, sent me there. It was Jim Ross and Kevin Kelly.
Wow.
Sent me to Kowalski. So and he was unreachable. Like he had
Right. He was
no.
already like almost like two
There was no
generations.
way.
Right.
Yeah, like you couldn't call him, you couldn't email him. There was no. His school wasn't
Very,
online. I
very
did his
cool.
website for him. So I did his website. I did his social media, and I got him an online presence. But up until then, like he had to be contacted through the office. So they sent me. I lived on the West Coast. I was doing the fitness thing and
Is that
acting.
where you are? Is that where you're originally from the West Coast?
No, I'm originally from Philadelphia.
Oh, okay, okay. So you were doing that, and then Kevin Kelly and Jim Ross told you to get in contact with Killer Kowalski's school.
Not exactly. I was working. I had a contract with Medrex and
Right.
one in England with Extreme Nutrition, and so I was doing a lot of fitness stuff. I was doing like the Arnold and the Olympia, and I was competing, and
Right.
which I'll
Right.
get back to later. And then I did Playboy. They did a special edition called Playboy's Hard Bodies,
Right.
and
I
um,
remember that.
yeah, Kimberly Page was in it, and then I
It
got.
was that through WCW?
The magazine was not. It was a Playboy issue, but WCW saw it and reached out to me.
Right. That's awesome. Wow.
And
Wow.
then
That's
when that wasn't working out because they weren't doing much with any of the girls really. I was kind of sent over when WWE was in LA. I was sent over to meet with them during WrestleMania,
hmm
and then
hmm
they sent me to Walter Kowalski's, who was an amazing person. And
I've heard so many good stories. So
yeah,
many.
I I honestly got a little perturbed when I read China's book because I was just like, that's not really how he is. He's very, very generous with his time. He would take you aside and help you. And as a female, as the only female in his school, like he would take me aside and say, okay, if a guy grabs you, this is what you do. If somebody grabs your purse, this is what you do. Like
Right. Right.
like I was going to Japan. I was one of the first girls to work Japan on a regular basis, and he's like, they might try and shoot on you. This is what you do.
So
So
he was like almost like a father figure to you, not just a trainer. He was like
yeah,
so he really, really like, kind of like was gentle with you, but at the same time, he taught you things about, getting roughed up by people who might want to hurt you.
yeah, he looked out for me a lot. He ran student shows, and he made sure we all got paid. Every one of his students started off, with whether it was alumni or no name at all, we all got $100 to show up with his shows.
Wow.
That's why
Wow,
I know that's
that
unheard
is unheard of.
of. He makes
That is
sure,
unheard of.
yeah, because he said it's a business, and
Right,
don't
right.
don't don't let anyone treat it less than that. That's why I've always been adamant about getting paid and getting fair pay, whatever the hell that means in wrestling on the indies. But I've
No, I know what
always
you
got,
mean. Yeah.
outside of like the benefit shows, I have always insisted on getting paid.
I feel like and I'll get back to that real quick. I really feel what you're saying right there, because it seems like when, yeah, in the beginning, a lot of wrestlers, male and females, will take, lower paying gigs, maybe to kind of get onto a show to, be seen and so on and so forth. But sometimes, wrestlers will allow a promoter to abuse them
Mhm.
and not really pay them what they're worth. And it kind of brings their value down in the long run. Is that what you kind of saying in that scenario? Is that what he was kind of teaching you, Killer Kowalski?
Yes and no. He said that this business is a very small business. It's basically,
Right.
I use the word incestuous. It's very small. And
That's a good word.
yeah, because if you sleep with one person, you slept with at least 20.
That's
Um,
all of them. My
yeah,
gosh.
so he said that everyone speaks, even if the promoters aren't speaking to each other. Your champion is going down the street and getting jobbed to someone else, and they're all speaking. So if you
Right.
work for $20 at one place and someone else finds out, who's been paying you $100, they're going to start paying you $20, because any chance they get to save money, they're going to tell you, yeah, ticket sales weren't so great, and you can,
Right. There's always some kind of excuse.
yeah, I mean, you can still be on the show, but well, we're gonna have to cut your pay now. Like, they'll lie to you, so you have to be consistent. So always ask for what you're worth, and then ask for a little bit more.
That's right. That's right. And it's that's some really, really good advice. Anyone who's listening right now, April Hunter has been around in the business as a businesswoman for many,
I got
many years. You
paid.
should follow her. She knows what she's talking about. She's been around. She's been to all of the companies and worked with the top people. So if you're new and you've never heard of her, make sure you follow her, because she's a staple in the wrestling business. Now, real quick, April,
Don't be fooled
April,
by my fetish work, because that's
we're going to
nice
talk about your fetishes later, all right? I'm trying to seal the deal before the interview is done. You know me already, all right?
days.
I need a new queen, all right? I need a new queen. But real quick, before I get off topic, all right? You see what you're doing? You're always doing that, April, all right? You always, you distracting people, all right? With the beautiful body, the beautiful infectious smile, all right? You're so beautiful and infectious. Don't do that to me right now, all right? My God.
Lo siento.
All right, all right. So you said, before I forget, and I want just the fans to understand this, because you did say this, and I know they're like, why? What did she say? Did you say you really didn't agree with what Triple H said in the book, or did you say someone else's name? You said you
No,
didn't really agree.
no, Triple H always treated Walter very well. I didn't agree with what China said. Joni Lauer.
Who said?
Joni Lauer, China.
Who is that? Oh, Joni, China.
Yeah,
Okay, I understand. Yes, yes. What exactly did she say that you disagreed with? Because I know that she was a really, really, kind of tight part of that fold. She wasn't trained by him, but I know she was a part of that. Didn't you agree with?
well, she trained there. Freight Train
Right.
Dan took her under his wing, but she was the only girl at that school at that point, and she just said that he didn't help her in her career, and
Okay, got you.
yeah, she wasn't overly, I don't know.
Right, right. That was her probably. Rest in peace. That was probably her issue at that time, because who knows what was going on. But I now I understand. I was kind of like didn't I wanted to circle back to that because I didn't hear what you said before. But going back to the Playboy thing, all right, because you were doing Playboy, you got into that. Do you regret doing Playboy? Like, or is that something that you had fun doing and you wish that you can do again on a different type of level that's not for a bodybuilding issue, for a beautiful bodybuilding issue? Maybe it's a different style, because I've seen some of your new pictures online, and boy, oh boy, April, oh my gosh, you've lost all of your tone, but it's still there and it's beautiful. It's so nice. I saw the one with the butterfly. I think I'm going to show that one. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to lean down for two reasons. First is that I went to school for 3.5 years, and I went to Full Sail University, which was an intense, brutal 7-day-a-week, 24-hour school. And
what was your major?
Creative writing for entertainment. I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts in that. And there's just
congratulations.
Thank you. But there's no way I could keep up with that kind of gym and eating schedule that you need to maintain that level of muscle. A lot of times what I was stuck doing is grabbing a 45-minute walk around my neighborhood, because that is all I had time for, because I had like 5 assignments to do. So I did the best I could with it. But the other thing is, it was beneficial to me to drop extra weight, because every pound, I had so many injuries that I'm still working with.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I remember back in the day. Yeah, I remember.
Oh yeah. I went full force. So every pound you lose is 7 pounds of pressure off your joints and ligaments. So getting as small and lean as I could has been really helpful. So I'm very flexible now, and I'm much leaner now, or smaller. So yeah, I still work out.
So you might pop back into Playboy.
Oh, I don't know.
Hey, I think it's about that time. You did the last time you were there, it's like almost 15, 20 years ago. I think now
it was 1999.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's 1999. I just found the.
Oh no, are you doing like a fans only page yet? I think if you did the fans only page, that would be so great. And I know your pictures would be very tasteful, because I know a lot of these, some of these guys and girls, they have their fans only page, and it's very, graphic. I don't want to see someone's penis. All right. I don't want to see
You're not going to see my penis, okay?
All right. Jeez, all right. I want to stick with the April Hunter type of looking. All right. That's it. All right. When are we gonna get the fans only page so we can see some exclusives? Because you have so many. You was a photographer at one point in your life, but you have so many works of photography from over the years. It would be beautiful to see you back in Playboy, or just doing your own shoots. Will we see something like that soon?
Well, to answer all your questions, no, I don't regret doing Playboy. It launched my career, and it was fabulous for me. And it was a dream come true. And I don't mind being naked. So
you see, you're being straight up. I like that.
Yeah. My mom was a nude model. She was a nude art model. So it's like not a big, my family's very European, so it's not a big deal.
Right.
And yes, I have an OnlyFans page. It's OnlyFans April Hunter. And I have a Patreon page, which is also patreon.com April Hunter. And then my own website, aprilhunter.com, and all of them have different content. And I enjoy that because it allows me to make the content that I want to produce, and it allows me to make my fans see, rather than being strictly hired by other people and other companies to make what they want.
Right. And usually Right. And you're very, very tasteful, even though maybe some of the stuff can be explicit, but you're very tasteful in how you choose your work. Because I've seen some of your own content and I love it. But I agree with you when it comes to like working with third-party companies. They want you to be with Ron Jeremy or something in a picture. Like, who wants to be in a picture with Ron Jeremy? I can never see you with him.
Oh God,
Like,
I don't do porn. I never crossed over into porn.
yeah, that's like the lower level. I mean, I know Sonny did it for a little bit, and I love Sonny, but hey, that's just how whatever floats whose boat and whatever they do.
Yeah.
It's not really something, hey, it is what it is. So you worked with so
Oh
many
yeah,
companies.
no. I didn't. I never crossed over into triple X or porn. I always say that I remained a fantasy, not a reality. So,
Right,
like,
right,
I
right.
don't mind being naked, but anything actually sexual, that part I keep for whoever it is that I actually like or love. That part's
Right,
private.
right. They have to keep you have to keep some of that, confidential. You know what I mean? Unless
Yeah,
you just don't, yeah, unless that's your business and what you do, and I get it. But in my opinion, it's like, you're very tasteful. So I would definitely all my followers, brand new, the old followers, make sure that you go and you follow April. I'm gonna put it in the subscribers box on the YouTube and on my page so everyone can follow it. But
yeah.
over the years, April, right? You've worked with so many companies from the WWF. You did some stuff with them. You did stuff with WCW. Then you did all of the independents. You were like one of the top ladies on the East Coast wrestling everywhere. Then you went to TNA, right? What is different from today's wrestling, female wrestling, compared to the female wrestling from, let's say, when you were at, TNA last, which was like in 2006?
I did 2010, where I tag team with Lorelei Lee for a all women's show. So
Right.
so what's different? Well, all right. So as much
You
as I
seem like you have a lot to say.
yeah, well, yes, it's a subject near and dear to my heart.
It's
Um,
there to my heart too, believe it or not. But go on.
what's different is it has taken second generation women in the business to actually make WWE give a shit about women wrestling, female wrestling. So, which is sad. TNA, as much as I'm not a fan of them, they did find their niche, and they did what WWE would not, and they honed in on the cruiserweights and the females,
Right,
and they
right,
did really well. They did well with that, whereas WWE just could not be bothered. They shouldn't.
right.
They didn't see the money
It was
in it.
you think like the WWE at that time was doing more like kind of like panty matches type of things, and TNA was starting to do more serious matches.
Just imagine for a minute. Just imagine Jackie and Jazz and Trish and Lita and Mickey James and everyone else that was there at that era today in the ring if they were allowed to go.
Oh man. Oh man.
Imagine. It would be good because those girls could
Oh,
go. You know,
and
worked with
it
Alexa
would look
Circuit. Otherwise, known as
forget it. It would look brutal too, like because it would they would be hard hitting. It would
yeah.
be what I mean. So I definitely see what you're saying.
So I've worked Alexis Lurie, Mickey James. I worked Jazz. I worked Gail Kim. I worked all these girls on the indies, and then I see them on TV, and it's like Molly Holly. It's like they're kind of just being relegated to the popcorn match, then given 3 to 5 minutes. So
Right,
so to see them now getting cage matches and headlining a pay-per-view, that is because of UFC. It's
right,
not because of TNA.
right,
It's because of UFC, because UFC decided to take the ball and run with it.
right, right,
So
right.
unfortunately, that's what it took, and that's what it's taken. Like I said, second generation wrestlers that happen to be female to be given a chance.
They're right, and they're looked at. You feel like as more legends than some of the legends from the first generation, even though
Yeah,
they do, you hear names, of course, Sensational Sherry, you hear all of the, so on and so
yeah,
forth. But you don't really, the people in between, it's like there was so many. so many names in between. You were one of them.
For me, it's
That
frustrating. Like I was completely frustrated because here I was. Now I'm coming from a model background. Okay, so I've already got that working against me with these giant, big boobs, and people
right,
didn't take
right,
me
right,
seriously. So I go to Killer Kowalski's. I bust my ass. I am the only female there, and I'm in there literally busting my ass. And you know what? I was decent, and I was willing to try, and I would get up and try again. So, and
right.
I would get injured, and I would tape up and keep going. Because if you can walk, you can wrestle. They always said that. So
That's true.
a
That's
lot of
very true.
a lot of times I didn't have anyone to wrestle. I was wrestling the guys. The girls, if they had a women's match, they didn't even bring in anyone trained for us. They would throw me in the ring with somebody who's been training for 6 weeks that was some dude's girlfriend. So of course I'm getting more
Right,
and more hurt. So I
right.
got frustrated. I left the country, which is, remember, I was there at Jersey All Pro. I was not there. I was there. I was not there.
I remember. I remember
So,
you were overseas in Europe.
yeah, because now, to be fair, Frank and Ray did, they were amazing to me. And that's what I consider
Yes, they wanted those matches out of you. They wanted those matches you were looking for.
to me, that's my home fed. They treated me better than anybody. And they let me run, and they gave me the male tag team titles. They let me work the guys. They let me work the girl. They did so well by me. Like, they just, anything I could
Wow.
could do, they let me do it, and they pushed me to another level to keep trying even harder.
Right,
You know.
right. That's
So
all. That's all
if
that
I could do a
somebody can ask
moonsault,
for in the business.
yeah, if I could I remember if I could do a moonsault off the top rope, I did if I could take a chair shot from Dan Moff, I took a chair shot. If I could dive to the outside, I would dive into the outside. Nobody was doing that stuff at that point. So,
They weren't.
but I was in between then, I was going back and forth to England and to Japan and to Europe because I wanted to work real matches with real women who were really trained. I was working in Mexico all the time. So,
Right,
because there wasn't a lot of opportunity past my, once a month show at Jersey All Pro and I want to say ECW, 3PW.
right, right.
You
Right. In between there, it was like it was far and few between, even though there was a lot going on, but still it wasn't as much and maybe as many of girls at the time that were really trying to pursue it, the way that you were pursuing. Who were some of the ladies overseas that you ended up really becoming friends with that took you under your wing or that you took under your wing and you guys trained together? Who were
know,
some of them?
well, my veteran when I first started was Soraya Knight. So,
Right. How's she doing?
she's doing good. She's on quarantine, missing her grandchildren right now.
Right,
Um,
right. Everybody's been in quarantine. Forget
yeah,
it.
their quarantine in England is much more strict than ours. Like anyone considered quote unquote elder, which I can't wrap my head around the fact that she's elder. To me, she is not.
Right,
And
right.
never ever will be. Um, they're on lockdown with the threat of fine or jail. So
Oh wow,
yeah,
wow. That's scary. That's
it,
scary. And I heard that I heard in Korea or something like that, South Korea, they actually have like human tracking systems. Like with your
yeah,
cell phone, they could track where you're at. It's a crazy, crazy situation. How are you staying safe with the whole quarantine? You have your chickens, right?
I
And the
do.
last time we were texting you, you were telling me you were feeding your little chickens. How are they doing?
They're doing good. I already had coronavirus, so I have the antibodies.
Oh yeah? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Thank God you're okay now. My
I
God.
I had it in early November, or sorry, early December, and it knocked me on my ass harder and faster than anything I've ever had before. And I probably had it. I had it for about oof, almost 3 to 4 weeks, I guess. Um,
Really?
oh yeah, it was bad. And
What what
listen, this, this
what
is
were
what
some of the symptoms
this
that
is
you
what I
were
sound
you
like
were
now. Listen to this. That's my lungs now.
oh my God.
It did permanent damage. I'm on two inhalers and a singular pill at night to breathe because I do cardio all the time and I just my lungs have never recovered from it. I'm probably I'm probably at 75% of what I was. It did permanent damage to
R-
me.
right, and you don't smoke
Oh
or
God, no,
nothing.
no, no. That's just.
Wow,
Yep. Oh, it's a real thing.
that's
People that think it's not a real thing, it's a real thing. So what happened?
yeah, that's right,
What?
right. If you someone who's working out every day was knocked on your ass, and people should take precaution and really stay home and really try to like stop the curve, stop the spread,
Yeah,
if you will.
you don't want this. This is a that scared the shit out of me. I've been so sick before that I wanted to die, but I've never been so sick before that I actually thought I was going to die. And
Wow, that's
this was that time. So what happened was I woke up and I had actually the night before I started getting a sore throat. And the next morning I felt like I'd gargled with glass. And I had to work. And
right.
had I known what was going on, nobody did because nobody in
It just came out of nowhere,
yeah,
like the
no one in
sickness. It was
Florida
like
was
you were just
admitting
sick.
what was going on until they couldn't deny it anymore. Um,
Right.
but I had customs that day. I had I had a shoot that day, and I went to my shoot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I worked, and when I got back home late that night, I felt just crappy, and I got up in the middle of the
Hmm.
night, and I had it felt like food poisoning at first. Like
Right.
and it was so bad, I was laying on the floor, like I could not get up, and I could not
Were,
get to my phone.
were you throwing up?
I was throwing up. Yep, everything, all of it. Fill in the blank.
Oh man.
It was bad. It was endless. And
Oh man. I'm glad that. Oh,
pounding headache, I was started having problems breathing. It set in right after this. But I think what saved me was I started taking Mucinex DM like immediately. So my neighbor, by 7:30 in the morning, I remember laying on the floor and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my God, I need to go to the emergency room. I think I'm gonna die.
wow.
I think I'm actually gonna die. And
Oh
I
my
got to my
God.
phone and I couldn't even talk. I texted her and I said I need to go to the hospital. And she's like, hang on. And she's a nurse. And she came over and brought a
Right.
bunch of stuff and took care of me. And by that
You
night,
did. So you ended up not going to.
no, because of her. Like I had my own emergency room right
Right.
there. But
Right. Right.
yeah, but that night I was starting to get better. The next day I started getting better, and then it moved into my lungs like a really bad case of bronchitis.
Oh man.
So it's like getting the worst flu, food poisoning, and bronchitis all at once.
Oh man, that's scary. And they're saying I just saw something on the news earlier today that there's going to be some kind of resurgence. So I hope that everybody is just being safe out there. It's really, really a scary time. Everyone, all these independent wrestlers and promoters, they're all sad. But it's better that we all just be safe and kind of like just try to keep entertaining each other with our Patreon pages and YouTubes and stuff like this. Are you still pursuing a contract with any of the major companies, and if you are, which one would you feel that you would fit best in right now once they start opening? Like, let's say, when they open, which one do you think you would fit into with, like, WWE, like AEW?
I'm actually not. If I'm not. I'm actually developing a television show at the moment. But if I had to play,
Oh wow.
if I had to play fantasy wrestler, I would probably fit best into something like AEW, I guess.
Right. Why is that? Why not WWE or like ROH or
Um,
let's say, or Impact?
okay, so this is just my experience having worked all
Right.
these places. Okay, so
Right.
Ring of Honor is too uptight for me. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh man, I think I know. Yes,
Way too uptight
I
for
know
me.
what you're
It's
saying.
stressful. And I was
Tidy whitey.
yeah. If I have to, yeah. Um, Yeah. TNA is not professional enough for me. It's like being in WCW light backstage.
You mean the new Impact?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never found them to be run professionally. Now, I don't know how they are right now, but that's my own experience.
Right, right. That's just from what you know from back when it was.
Yeah, it's like my experience was exactly being back in WCW, but without any of the money, or paycheck. And WWE reminds me of everything you hear about, like um, like the underground, the people who run everything, and like the secrecy and the government, and you're being watched at all times. They
Right, like the
own
big brother.
you. Yeah,
The big
yeah, they're
brother.
big brother. So hell no. No, people are so unhappy there. So no. There are politics,
Yeah.
and there are
Yeah.
politics on top of politics on top of politics, and now there are for real politics. They paid my state, the state of Florida, a lot of money, millions,
I heard. I
to
heard.
stay open, 3 more weeks. They put so many people's lives in danger, and I'm sure people freaking died because they wanted to film
Right.
WrestleMania.
Wow.
Like, they literally
Wow.
probably killed grandma
Wow.
because they wanted WrestleMania.
That's
And like, they're just morally bankrupt. And what do? They make all their fucking, sorry, can I say fuck?
yeah, yeah. You can speak the way you're speaking because my mouth is open right now because this is good stuff.
They make their talent come in during a pandemic to film WrestleMania at the most dangerous time ever. And then they say thank you
Right.
by firing everybody.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
oh,
It's crazy.
and then they have them all.
It's crazy because
Sign NDAs for like 3 to 6 months. They're not allowed to talk about it.
right. I'm pretty sure when people are able to talk about it, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what is actually going down because everybody and their mother, they want to continue working for the WWE and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure if they offered me a contract, I would probably go there. But to be honest with you, I would rather make sure that my family is safe and make sure that like the general public and my friends who I have, call my, co-workers and my brothers and sisters are safe as well. It's really, really important for that.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's like,
something.
wow, that's honestly, that's beyond a bad working situation. That is literally, I think, a violation of human rights in some way, shape, or
Yeah,
form.
I hope that one day that people can realize that there's more to life than just wanting wrestling. We have to just make sure everyone is safe too. You know what I mean? Who today are some of the top girls that you think are in the wrestling business today? Like, who do you really, really like and admire that you see in the business right now? And would you face them?
I don't honestly, I don't follow a lot of wrestling.
Right.
And I shouldn't say that, but I don't. But
No, it's an honest thing.
But one that I've always liked and admired and would have no problem getting the ring in with is Paige. And
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Wow.
I think people forget that she is a young girl, a very young girl, and it's rite of passage.
Yeah.
When you are 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, it's rite of passage to make mistakes. We all do it. We all have done it. And
We all have.
Yeah.
Every single one of us.
And we're supposed to do it because that's what teaches you life's lessons. And a lot of people have never left this country. And if they have, it's to go to some kind of cushy resort where they're, get all you can eat buffets and free drinks.
Right. They're not really experiencing.
No,
something.
if you
Right.
leave your country, everything you know behind, to come to a place where it's foreign, to chase your dream and it's scary, and it's an entertainment, which is not the friendliest business in the world. And you have no
Right.
support network around you. It's easy to, and you're young. It's easy to make some mistakes. Emotionally easy to make
Right.
mistakes, and people need to be more forgiving and understand that. And if you aren't
Yeah.
traveling and doing the same thing that she did, and if you aren't making mistakes at that age, you aren't living, and you should not be judging.
Exactly. Amen to that. Amen to that. Because let me tell you, when I was young in the business coming up, and you and I around the same time, I used to keep my mouth shut. I used to keep my mouth shut. Even now, it's not that I'm keeping my mouth shut. It's just that I would hope that the new generation would see that, hey, this guy, has been around. Maybe I can learn something from him. But things have changed. Like you said, there's a gap where it went from the old generation and it went straight to the new generation, and that's okay. That's okay. Do you what I was going to ask you this, because I heard are you still married? All right, you were married before.
No,
And then, like, after that, because I heard you didn't even invite me to the wedding. All right, I would have brought you a nice gift, something very nice for you. All right, you didn't invite me.
sorry.
What happened?
No, I was married for 9 years, almost 9 years. Um,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
he's a good guy. We got divorced 6 years ago. He lives down the street from me. We still share Bella, the corgi. We share both of them.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
he's a good dude.
But you're just not together anymore. But you're good
I
friends.
wouldn't say good friends, but we're copacetic. Yeah, yeah.
Trust me.
My
Trust me. I
current
know.
ex-boyfriend and I are very good friends. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I try not to throw out the baby with the bathwater. If we get along with
Right.
somebody, and it's like, if the relationship part falls apart, if I can salvage the friendship, I try to, because it's like, I'm watching something on Netflix, and I'll text them and say, "Oh, I just watched this. You might want to watch Hollywood. It's
Right.
something you would really like."
One of those.
Yeah. Or we're all getting together to go on the beach. If you want to come to the beach, feel free to come. Bring whoever you want, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is your what do you look for in a man? All right, what are you looking for in a man or in a partner, or what is it that you're looking for? You saying and that makes you happy and keeps your sexual, engines going. All right, all right. That's a big part. Let's not forget that.
Okay, so if you look at everybody I've ever dated, you would just feel like your head would spin, because
I know.
they run the gamut. Like, I have dated the United freaking Nations, and they have gone from like 5'7" to like almost 7 feet tall. So like, they're the one common thread they all have is that they're all intelligent and witty.
Wow.
Like, they're quick.
Wow.
Quick. And a lot of them are like, a significant portion of them are foreign, because they're traveled. So they kind of get what I do. And
right.
Foreigners, because I married a foreigner also. The foreigners are not.
Where was he from?
Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not a foreigner exactly, but not American.
Right, that's what I was.
Non-Americans are not as prudish or as hung up on things like, oh, me having my boobs on the internet. So that like it's not a big deal to them. They're just like, oh yeah, we have page 3 back home. We don't care. Like, they get it.
Right. No, I understand. So you basically are attracted to guys that are from Guatemala, is what you're telling me.
Yes. Your skin, I haven't.
That's something else. That's good to know. You know what I mean? So American guys, hey, you have to work very hard or put on a very hard accent, all right, from Canada or Guatemala to get with my home girl, all right?
Yeah.
Let's remember that. Let's,
Yeah,
you know,
voila.
exactly, exactly. But and this is a serious one, real quick. And I know, like people again, people don't know. And I was telling my friends in the beginning of the show, I know you for many, many years. All right, you've gone like you've been in everything. And I remember you in many relationships. And for any girls going through any type of social abuse or anything like that, how can they overcome that? Because I know in the past you've had it. There's other girls in the business that's had these situations, and I just always I hate talking about the topic, but at least I just want you to talk to the women and the men out there to explain to them how is the best way to overcome any type of like relationship type of abuse.
Are you talking about how badly my one relationship ended?
Yeah, but without getting into detail about that,
Yeah.
just what's the best way for someone to get over, a relationship like that and move on in life? Because you have moved on to greater, greater things that is just so unbelievable. How did you do it in such
I have an answer.
a crazy situation at the time?
I have an answer for you. After a whole lot of self-reflection and I will tell you, it's a lot of therapy. Like, don't be afraid to get in there and have therapy. And therapists are like shoes. You have to try on a few before you get a good fit sometimes. So here's what happened to
Right.
me. My parents, and this is often what happens to people, this is a common story. My parents beat the hell out of each other. My dad beat my mom, and he beat us too occasionally. So when you grow up thinking that's a normal way to solve conflict, when it happens in your own relationship, you know it's wrong, like you mentally know it's wrong, but it also kind of feels normal because that's what you've seen your whole life. Is that's what happens, right? You've seen it at home.
Right. It's like okay, it'll be over after this, like, or something.
Yeah,
like that.
we'll try and smooth this out. It'll, calm down. Everybody calm down. You kind of just like don't even think about it, as crazy as that sounds. So it's not that women are putting up with it. It's that oh God, I don't even know. If you come from a normal household, it's hard to explain this mentality to anybody. It's that
Right.
it is their normal. And this happens to guys too. Like
Right.
a lot of men get abused.
No, I know.
A lot of men
I know.
and they just don't report it because they feel like it makes them look bad or feel inferior or look
Right. Or they're gonna get laughed at or something like that.
like just as many men get beaten as women. I think it's like 50-50. So
Yeah.
so here's the thing. You have to get therapy because a good therapist will rewire you as to what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what's okay, what's not okay, and where your boundaries are. So, and that's what I started to do. That's what I wanted to have better relationships. I wanted to have all of that. I wanted to have
Right.
I wanted to have a partner as an equal. I didn't want the drama.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
And I didn't want to lose my friends over this because my friends were looking at me like I'm some kind of loser idiot staying with a dude that, so clearly was not a good dude. And they were giving up on me like, what's wrong with you?
Right. It gets to a point where they're wondering if you're okay. I know.
Yeah.
Love is like that sometimes. It has you in zombie mode sometimes.
That's not love though.
Right.
It's not. It's codependency.
What is it?
It's comfort. It's being afraid. If somebody loves you, they want to take care of you. They don't want to hurt you. They want to protect you and take care of you.
Right. Do you believe in forgiveness?
Yeah, of course.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Do you also believe in second chances?
Um, depends on the it depends on the situation and the person.
Right.
Like um like I believe people can have a second chance in life, but I don't necessarily
Right.
believe in giving someone another chance if it was a situation that
Right.
doesn't warrant it.
Right. 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 It's crazy because a lot of the times, people don't realize how important it is to try and be a good person, because like whatever you do, it follows you in like especially when you're in the spotlight of the entertainment business, it follows you, and for those who are trying to kind of like clean their slate, you know what I mean? I think that that they have nothing else to do but try and go above and beyond with that, because to it's mentally, someone can be hurting even more, you know what I mean, versus physical abuse, because mental abuse is definitely a problem too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean for me, I was almost killed. And the police had to kick down the door. I was being strangled. I was literally being held hostage. I was being kicked in the face. It was, and this was not the first time it happened. This was not the 10th time it happened. I just covered it up. And this time it was real bad, real bad. And um it had escalated to that point, and it's just a matter of time before
Right.
it escalates for a lot of people. There's a reason why when somebody dies, the first suspect is almost always the husband or wife.
Right. Right. Or the best friend,
I
something
think
like
that's
that.
movies. That's movies.
Yeah, that's movies. That's in then I must be living in a movie life, because that's in my life. But real quick, all right, and then I know you have to go soon, all right, and I'm so happy that you took some time to speak with me. It's so great to hear from you, April.
Same to
But
you.
what advice would you give some of the new, girls and the guys out there, as far as getting into the wrestling business, modeling, writing, because you write books, the nutrition stuff, and what projects are you working on now, and how can people find you?
Oh my gosh, that's a whole lot to answer at once. Okay.
I know, it's in a nutshell.
Okay. Okay. So there's a lot of advice I could give, but the main piece of advice that I will pass on that I got from Killer Kowalski, it's not mine, it's his, is
Right,
do not take compliment or criticism to heart. And that means if someone tells you that you suck, brush them off. If someone tells you that you're good, brush that one off even faster. Because when people
right,
tell you that you're good, that will do more damage than someone telling you you suck a lot of times. Because then you can start resting on your
right.
laurels and letting it get to your head. So don't,
That's
that's the first.
that's like some really serious. That's some really, really good advice. I never heard that one
Yeah.
in my whole 26 years, and that was a good one.
Yeah. Secondly, what you are presenting to the public is not you, it's your product. So don't take things personally. I know some days it's really hard not to, but if your name or your stage name or whatever it is your product, understand that that's the same as like being on the side of a road and selling fruits and vegetables. And when you leave, you pack up those fruits and vegetables. It's not you. So somebody says,
Right,
I don't
right,
like these
right,
fruits and vegetables. They suck. They're all bruised. It's not you. It's not you. Don't take it with you.
right, right,
So you have to
right.
understand that you are not your character, and you need to
That's
compartmentalize.
that's some serious, serious, serious advice. A lot of people don't probably they went over their heads about
Yeah.
that right there. It went over people's heads just now, and they're gonna want to rewind this and listen to that
Those
part
are the
because
yep.
it is so important for wrestling. Like I feel it's very important for wrestling people who are in the wrestling business, performing and competing, to know that there's business and there's personal life. You don't have to be who you are in your business in your personal life and who you are in your personal life in your business. All right? My goodness.
Yep, those are two of the best pieces of advice I ever got. Another one is oh, I just had it and I lost it. See, concussions.
Oh, you see, I
Oh,
talk so much because my heavy accent is my heavy accent
oh,
throwing you off. I know.
another one is you meet the same people coming down as you did going up, so make sure you treat everyone with respect, and that goes for people in
Right.
service, hotels, all of them. In America, you
Oh,
never know
yeah.
who is handling. It's just like you never know who's handling your food, so you treat the people the same way you
Right.
treat the restaurant owner. Always.
Right. You treat them nice. You treat them nice.
Yes.
You treat them nice because you never know that person that you treated bad will end up being the person who's signing the contracts for you to be a part of the company and this and
Yep.
that. You always have to be nice.
Yes. Respectful.
You know?
Respectful. Yep. And the
Right.
last piece of advice,
What projects?
the last piece of advice I never
you have
got
one more piece of advice?
that I
Mhm.
never got that is relevant to today is fuck likes on the internet. Do what's true to
Right.
you,
Right.
because
Right.
if
Right.
you do what you like, there's a chance that other people will like it too, and those will be your people.
Right. 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 That's
Everybody.
very, very true.
Yeah, you're not going to please everybody.
That's very right. You know that's the funny thing. A lot of people, oh, I don't have too many followers. I don't have this and that. But, hey, if you have 10 followers, do everything that you do in the best that you can to entertain them because they came there to see
Yeah.
you. All right. And 10 followers will turn into 10,000 if you are consistent.
No, it probably won't.
And you are dedicated.
Because here's a
Right.
little known secret. People who are celebrities or in the entertainment field or in any kind of public whatever, they buy their followers. They
Yeah, they
buy
do.
them. So don't worry about how many you have. Just do your thing and learn about SEO, learn about hashtags, learn about how to do it to the best of
Right.
your ability. But don't worry about likes. Do what you like. Do what works for you.
Oh man, that is like some of the most sound advice that anyone can give any of my followers. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss April Hunter has been here. April, what projects are you working on now? Again, can you tell the fans about your Patreon page? Can you tell them about your fans only page? You said you had something else. Please, where can we find you? So on and so forth.
Yes. You can find me on OnlyFans, April Hunter. That isn't over. Well, actually, no. The page itself, anybody can be on it.
Hey, Jeremy, make sure that you add me to April Hunter's page now. Add me. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
Patreon, April Hunter. Let's see, what else do I have? Obviously, I have aprilhunter.com, which I don't keep up as well as I should, but I'm going to try.
Right.
I'm on Etsy under April's Sensations. That's my candle and soap store.
Ooh.
I know.
Wow. Next time you have to come on and talk about that.
And what I have coming out next, I just got a contract for a children's book.
Wow.
I'm developing a TV show with my partner in LA, and I'm doing a lot more behind the camera as well as some things in front of the camera. So
that you're so busy right now. It's so good to see that you're staying involved. When I went to your Twitter page today, I see that it's still popping. All right, you're still popping. You're still that chick. All right, you are still that chick. You really are, and I'm so proud of you, April. I really am so proud of you and where you've been and where you are now, and I can't wait to see, all right, what you do next. If it is in wrestling, if it is with your brand, whatever it is. I love you, sis, and I'll speak to you soon. All right.
Thank you so much for reaching out, and thank you for having me on. It was so great to hear your beautiful voice.
You already know. And my friend, my assistant Jeremy, he just added me to your personal private page. So I'll be stalking you.
Awesome. I hope so. Have a good one.
Love you, sis. Have a good one.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me for another episode. I'll see you later, fools.
Then you might as well